So, you're in your 30s, and you've probably noticed that your body has gotten a few software updates that you didn't exactly ask for. But what if I told you these changes aren't a downgrade at all? They're actually a prompt, a signal to shift from that old brute force approach to a much smarter, way more strategic blueprint for your health. And today, that's exactly what we're going to break down. Does this sound familiar? You know, you do the exact same workout you did when you were 23, but suddenly the recovery takes like 3 full days instead of just 1. You've got aches and pains showing up totally uninvited. It's a super common feeling. And yeah, it can be pretty frustrating. And let's just get this out of the way right now. It is not in your head. You are not imagining things. The game has changed, and it's because your body is quite literally operating under a whole new set of rules. Okay, so let's dive into this, because understanding why things feel so different, well, that's the first step to working with your body, not fighting against it. We're going to get into the science behind this whole shift. All right, the big word of the day is sarcopenia. Now, I know it sounds a little intimidating, but it's really just the natural process of losing muscle mass that kicks in right around age 30. But pay very close attention to that last part, if you're not actively training. See, this is not our destiny, folks. It's just a default setting, and we can absolutely override it. So what's really interesting is how all these little invisible changes start to add up. Slower tissue repair and less collagen, that means you're more sore for longer. Those little hormonal shifts and a slowing metabolism, they affect your energy and your body composition. And yeah, subtle changes in bone density mean we just have to be a lot smarter about our joint health. But look, these aren't signs of failure. They're just the new operating parameters we need to start programming for. Which brings us to our first pillar. This is where it all starts to build, and it's a fundamental change in mindset. We are officially ditching that old more is always more mentality from our 20s, and we're adopting a much more intelligent approach to exercise. And this slide just nails that shift, doesn't it? In our 20s, hey, we could often get away with pushing through a little pain or just jumping right into a workout. In our 30s, that's basically a recipe for getting injured. The new game is all about listening to your body, focusing on quality movement, and treating your prep and recovery time as part of the workout itself. So what's the number one weapon in our arsenal? Strength training. It's your best defense against sarcopenia, and the return on investment here is just massive. I mean, research shows that as little as 30 to 60 minutes a week can have a huge impact on your longevity. This isn't about becoming a world-class powerlifter. It's just about consistently telling your body, hey, we need to keep this muscle. Okay, let's pivot to cardio for a second. We've all heard these standard guidelines, right? Get your 150 minutes of brisk walking or 75 minutes of jogging in. And that's a great baseline for heart health. But what if we could be even more efficient with our time? Get this. New research from the University of Sydney found that vigorous intensity activity is 6 times more effective for improving heart health. And for preventing things like diabetes, it's a staggering 9 times more effective. I mean, that is a huge efficiency gain. And this brings us to this brilliant idea called VLPA. That stands for Vigorous Intermittent Lifestyle Physical Activity. It basically means turning everyday tasks into opportunities. So taking the stairs instead of the elevator, carrying those heavy groceries with a purpose, walking up that hill a little faster. These short 1-minute bursts of effort sprinkled throughout your day, they really add up and deliver some major health benefits. Now, for pillar number 2, let's talk about the fuel for this whole system. As our metabolism changes, our nutrition strategy has to evolve right along with it. And the goal here, just to be clear, is not about restriction. It's not about suffering through some miserable diet. It's all about optimizing what you eat to support your muscle, your energy, and your overall health. And this playbook is all about simple, sustainable wins. Here's the strategy. First, you prioritize protein to protect all that muscle we're working to build. Second, you add in a lot of fiber from whole foods to stay full and satisfied. And, the really cool side effect of focusing on just those 2 things is that you naturally start to crowd out all the ultra-processed sugars and junk food, sometimes without even trying. And this right here is the bottom line, straight from Healthline. The most effective nutrition plan is always, always the one you can actually stick with. Think about it. If your diet makes you miserable and you're just counting down the minutes to a cheat meal, that's not a lifestyle. It's just a temporary punishment. All right, this next one, this might just be the most important and honestly the most ignored pillar of them all for anyone over 30. We tend to think we get stronger in the gym, but the truth is we actually get stronger while we recover. That's where the real magic happens. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. This comes straight from the trenches, a seasoned lifter over on Reddit.
And you'll find that people who've been training smart for decades, they all say the same thing. As you get older, recovery isn't just part of the game, it is the game.
So how do we get great at recovery? Well, it all starts with sleep. That's when your body releases growth hormone to repair muscle. And these things on screen, they aren't just suggestions. This is your new protocol. A consistent schedule, a cool, dark room, and powering down those screens, these are non-negotiable parts of your training plan now.
And recovery isn't just about what you do after a workout. It's also about what you do before. Seriously, think of your body like a car. You don't wait for the engine to blow up before you get an oil change. A proper warm-up, a good cool-down, and maybe even a physio check-in every once in a while. That's your preventative maintenance, and it's what's going to keep you in the game and off the sidelines.
So, after all this, what's the actual payoff for adopting this smarter approach? I mean, what does it really look like in the real world? Well, let's hear from some people who are living proof that your 30s can absolutely be your physical prime. Wow, that is powerful. Just think about that for a second. 13 years into training, and this person isn't just maintaining what they had, they're actually exceeding what they achieved in their 20s. That is what's possible when you combine consistency with a smart strategy. And this just reinforces that key idea. Your peak doesn't have to be behind you. For so many people who train intelligently, that combination of experience, muscle maturity, and simple consistency means their best years are actually in their late 30s and even beyond. I absolutely love this perspective. It's not just about how you compare to your younger self. It's about how you compare to your peers. By simply staying in the game and being consistent, you create this massive advantage for your quality of life for years and years to come. So let's bring this all home. The secret to really thriving in your 30s and beyond? It isn't about some magic anti-aging pill. It's about a simple but powerful shift in your strategy. Train smarter, eat wiser, and make recovery your absolute top priority. Look, this decade is not a decline. It's an opportunity. It's a chance to build a stronger, more resilient, more capable version of yourself for the long haul. It's not just about staying fit. It's about getting a genuine performance upgrade. So the only real question left is, are you ready to install it?